We're launching an ambitious new vision for nature, for the environment and for the people of Stoke-on-Trent. We want to put nature at the heart of Stoke-on-Trent.
We are laying out a vision for a multi-million-pound scheme that sets out to revive nature at scale and celebrate our rich cultural roots, ensuring that no community is left behind.
We're building a new partnership across Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle-under-Lyme and Biddulph to support our vision and restore and revitalise the Trent Valley headwaters and surrounding communities, to create a really special place where nature is at the heart of it and people can enjoy it.
The headwaters are where the River Trent rises and begins its 298-kilometre journey across the Midlands. It includes a number of tributaries and covers Stoke-on-Trent and parts of Newcastle-under-Lyme and Staffordshire Moorlands. The headwaters are home to over 350,000 people.
We're helping them to put together a master plan that will see new footpaths so people can go for a walk, to provide opportunities to get involved in volunteering, to look after the river and its wildlife.
Green spaces, and particularly water actually, are really important for people's mental health and well-being. It is a wonderful place to live. I live by water myself and I know the value of it, and also for our wildlife as well, and I think everybody in Stoke-on-Trent should have that benefit.
Stoke-on-Trent is one of the greenest cities in the country, and I think the waterways are a huge part of that. All of the brooks, the rivers, the canals that we've got are all tying into this massive green space that we've got.
Since the days of the Industrial Revolution, this river has been incredibly important, not just to Stoke-on-Trent and the ceramics industry in particular, but to the country and globally. Now, all that has taken its toll on the river. We want to change this, we want to celebrate our river, and we want to make it healthier. That's why it's great to be working with Staffordshire Wildlife Trust and other local partners on Transforming the Trent Headwaters scheme.
We've seen evidence from around the country that just shows how great it is for people to be able to connect with natural spaces and wildlife. Nature protects us in ways you might not imagine, and it's also the benefits that we can get from the functions of these habitats. So, for example, they absorb carbon, they can help reduce flood risk. During the 40-degree heatwave a couple of years ago, we created this heat map which shows how nature cools our cities. The red zones are scorching hot, but the blue areas are significantly cooler. And that's because there's more trees and more green space helping to shield us, our pets, our homes and our buildings. And it's a powerful reminder, nature makes cities livable.
We're increasingly seeing business and civic leaders recognise how important nature is in delivering their agenda for communities, for houses, for people in general.
A strong natural environment is really essential to a strong economy. Natural England have identified in their strategic document that the value of nature is worth £1.8 trillion, and it reduces the strain on the NHS, for example, on sick leave. It's really attractive for businesses and people wanting to come to the area. So they're more likely to live in places and work in places that are fantastically green.
We have great history and internationally renowned heritage. So the cultural heritage that spans this area goes back for thousands of years. A lot of it has been obliterated by post-industrial and industrial activity. However, we think we will be able to find everything from prehistory right through to post-industrial. So in the past, we've worked on this. We've converted pillboxes for wildlife along the length of the River Trent. We have found monuments of national significance and worked on those with people like Historic England. The grey samples are Roman greyware found on the banks of the River Trent, and they are about 1800 years old. The redder coloured material is called Samian ware, and that comes from Gaul, and that's a much higher status pottery. This is evidence of our long connection with the river.
The importance of nature to communities cannot be overestimated.
Connection with nature, as we've seen through the pandemic, is brilliant for people's physical and mental health.
So many studies have been shown that if you go out into the fresh air, you look at the wildflowers, the trees, the water, all around you. That's just something that medicine and money can't buy.
Just being out in nature can improve oneself in all kinds of ways, for people's mental health most especially.
In my job role, I've noticed that it's important for young people to have access to green spaces and rivers and canals, because spending time by the water and in green spaces has improved their mental well-being and behaviour.
We've had families and residents come down to green space, a hyper-local park in quite an urban area, but that the canal runs through, and we've done kind of paddle sports on the canal and fishing on the canal. And actually what you see is people getting to know what's there, but also those well-being benefits of people smiling throughout the day, actually feeling better by being by the water, and keep coming back.
We enjoy walking in the park rather than on streets because greenery, we've got a lake, we've got the canal. We enjoy seeing the trees, the plants, the wildlife, herons, kingfishers. It's amazing how much nature you get right in the heart of the city.
So you connect with nature, and to do that is really beneficial. That this is part of the toolkit of successful ageing.
It takes your mind off of other concerns. You always feel better when you've had a walk and walking under trees and by water.
So here at Ford Green, we've already got a site of special scientific interest. And I see this project as building on that, so that all the pathways, all the bits of land, all the nature reserves, we can bring these green spaces together right next to the tributaries of the Trent.
It's so important that we recognise that the environment isn't something you can just sort of cast aside and use when you want. We've all got to build and fight for it.
Volunteers and communities across the area are doing great work for nature and heritage. We've already started working alongside these passionate and knowledgeable groups.
We look after around about a mile of the length of the Lyme Brook. We test the water quality on a regular basis to make sure it's as pure as can be. We litter pick and we get rid of Himalayan balsam.
Together, we're shaping a shared vision for the future by listening to voices and identifying what matters most.
We'd like to see routes along the river that are more accessible to everyone, young, old, people with pushchairs, people with wheelchairs. Some of the paths are not very good at the moment, and that could be fairly easily rectified.
It's very important that people in power listen to us, because we're the ones on the ground. We see the problems. Hopefully they will take some kind of notice of us.
Staffordshire Wildlife Trust has worked in Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle and Biddulph for a couple of decades now.
Some people claim that nature gets in the way of developments, like sorely needed housing.
Something like only 3% of planning applications are held up by wildlife legislation. One of the projects that I'm most proud of is when we literally moved a half mile of the River Trent on the old Victoria football ground. We brought nature back to the heart of the city, right next to a new development.
We used to have a really lifeless river channel there, so we shifted 40,000 tonnes of earth, created a new channel, and now there's a 500 metre stretch of river there that's just fantastic for things like kingfishers, otters, brown trout, and there's a path running alongside it as well, so it means the local community can get access to the beautiful river environment.
It shows that nature development, nature preservation, can go hand in hand with improving the quality of life for the people who live there and the visitors who want to come too.
So we know how to do stuff, and we can do it again.
So it's really important for the future of the city that we integrate this into the plans for the future.
If we don't do projects like this, we risk losing our natural world, and our rivers will die, and it's so hard to get those back. A project like this brings that nature alive again for our future. I'm a grandmother, and I want my grandson to be able to experience the wonderful world and with nature that I had the joy of when I was growing up.
We need more green spaces.
Together we can breathe life back into our landscapes and build resilient communities for generations to come.
We're not just restoring the past, we're reimagining the future, your future.
So for all these reasons, I hope that leaders, stakeholders, partners, local people will all come together and get behind this bid.
This vision is more than just restoration.
It is reconnection.
To our land,
to our culture,
to each other.
Join the journey.
And let's create a living legacy.
Together.
Together.
Together.